And welcome back. Every video, I'm just cycling through the different beverages. Just had something to eat, so I'm just washing it down. But it's never wrong as long as you're not ruining your audio or what you're saying. It's okay to be drinking something, even eating something. I believe, as long as you're getting your message across. So yesterday, as you can tell, I'm pre-recording all these, and I just uploaded the other two. Yesterday, we did the top the animated films of 2023 ranked, and the top 10 worst films of the year. I am now pre-recording my comic book films ranked for the year 2023 and the best movies of 2023. As you can see, we are on the comic book movies of the year. Now, the comic book franchise has taken a hit since, honestly, the pandemic happened. Most people would say it did peak with Endgame. I don't think that's the case. To say it peaked with Endgame would mean that it's never going to get any better than Endgame. Like the hype, the love of the comic book franchise, all that, it's not going to get any better. But it will never improve. That is the pinnacle. Now, maybe that is true. But at the same time, if that were the case, we wouldn't have gotten a near $2 billion Spider-Man film. Again, Doctor Strange wouldn't have made almost $1 billion. We wouldn't have gotten the very well-received Shang-Chi. We would not have gotten Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm not saying that comic book movies haven't dropped a step. They definitely have. DCU has been struggling ever since Aquaman. But I don't think we have reached necessarily the pinnacle. The best days of comic book movies may still be ahead of us. The problem, was quality, was the people who were controlling the products, the people who had their own agendas, not caring about the actual quality of the product itself. And admittedly, some of the ideas have failed. And then overexposure. I think legitimately, while I don't think comic book fatigue is a thing, I think bad comic book movies and bad movie in general fatigue is a thing. And when you do that in mass, that hurts the brand, the product as a whole, particularly for the MCU. That said, however, we had eight comic book movies come out this year. So, how do I rank the comic book movies as a whole? Now, keep in mind, none of these movies, I think, are inherently god-awful. I think there's good in every one of these movies. But some are worse than others. And coming in at last, the worst comic book movie of the year, in my opinion, is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This is a film that admittedly had a lot to live up to. It had to live up to the original Aquaman, and it had to deal with the fact that it was going to be the last DCEU film. Now, it is not a shot as the story is not told as the last DCEU film because it was not intended to be. But that is what happened. Add on the fact that there was apparently a lot of production issues, rewrites, reshooting. It was pretty nightmarish. And you get a movie that, while still has a lot of fun with the adventuring, Patrick Wilson, Jason Momoa are still fun action sequences. There's fun in the movie. It's a fun mess of a movie. It is, though, a mess. It is such a mess. There's so many plot points that just don't add up when you see how, he's hiding on this island because of, by the way, I'm not going to say too much because it is still very much in theaters, but he's hiding on this island. It's keeping them from seeing the thermal vision. Really? Can't spot it with satellites, huh? You're saying they can't see the giant thing in the ocean that's doing this? They can't see that. Okay. And that's just like one mild thing. There's like too many plot points. Like, wait, what? No, but if he does this, why don't you just do this? And why are you guys being idiots? And why are you written so dumb? And while there is definitely some fun, there is certainly some fun to be had. 100%. It is wrapped up in a very, very messy bundle. And so Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom rank as the worst comic book movie of the year. Coming in, though, at number 7, we got AntMan and the Lost Quantumanium. Now, I like this movie a bit more than others. I find you're either on the side of the fence where you did not like this movie, thought it was terrible, or you thought it was okay. I think it's a little bit better than okay, but I do not think it's good. It did rank very low on the bottom of my MCU list when I did that. It's it's problematic because the concept of throwing Ant-Man in an Avengers level film, it's a fun concept for like a comic itself, but not for a movie, I think. The fact that we spent the entire time in the quantum realm, except for the beginning and very tail end of the film, I think really hurts the Ant-Man brand. Because even though the quantum realm is tied to Ant-Man, it's not something we as the viewer are going to see for an Ant-Man film. At least not for the entirety. Maybe half the film could have been in the quantum realm. Could have been back and forth, something going on in the real world while the quantum realm stuff's going on that's tied together. But the fact is, like, while the quantum realm and concept is cool, it's like, well, this isn't why we're here for Ant-Man. I'll be honest, too. Ant-Man has never seen more boring in any film than he was here. And Paul Rudd's still good at the character, but it's just like, Cassie. I gotta say Cassie. This is the only thing I care about. Cassie. Just like the last two films. Cassie. Like, there's no, like, even the threat of Kang isn't the big deal. And then that leads us into Kang. Kang is one of the few one of the legitimately good things about the film. Jonathan Majors, well, whatever you think of him as a person now, was still very good in the role. He was menacing. You bought him as a threat for a good portion of the film. Like, this is a guy who can he's killed Thor in different timelines. But the problem is, while I can at least mental gymnastic my way around the idea that he was killed by a bunch of ants, or let's say he was defeated by ants. A, they were large ants. B, technologically advanced ants. And then C, MODOK helped. So I can mental gymnastic it, rule lawyer it around in my head. There's the pumpkin. Hi, pumpkin boy. You want to go look at the window? Is that what you want to do? You want to look at the window? Okay, he's got to go look at the window. He's looking at the window. I'm in the window. And so, yeah, and then he's just killed, and now we have all these other Kangs. It's like, okay. And then it occurred to me, I think if they are, the rumor's true, they're going away from Kang, I think it occurs to me what they were going to do. It's like, the whole idea is, even if you beat this guy, there are more of him. But that would imply that every time we see this character, we're going to see him get killed, and then there's just another one that pops up. It's like, well, wait. No, that is not, at least from a movie-going standpoint, that is not a good way to design your villain. So, because now we're just like, well, wait, why should we worry about him if this can kill him and this can kill him? Add on to the fact that, while, I mean, I like Michael Douglas, I like Michelle Pfeiffer, they're fine. Hope is completely useless in this film. Pardon me. Bill Murray is actually fine, I think fine in the cameo he has, but it is just a glorified cameo. It's a very small bit. He's in there for a scene, pretty much. That's it. And then, obviously, MODOK. For the comic guy, the comic geek in me is like, they did MODOK, cool. All right, hey, good on him. MODOK's stupid. He's stupid as hell. Even in the comics, he's really not that intimidating or cool, but you did MODOK. I give you props for doing MODOK. But, yeah, it's just, it's not, it really didn't work. You could just, no joke, had you just replaced MODOK with something else, anything else, you could have actually, this movie, I think, would have worked a little bit better. I honestly think MODOK is probably one of the biggest problems you had with the film, because he just served no point otherwise than to say, hey, we got Ricky Bobby, an actor from one of the original movies. He's playing MODOK now. Great. Ant-Man and Wasp is not, I think, quite as big a mess as Aquaman is, but it's still messy. Now we're moving on to number 6, which is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a movie where this came out at the point where the DCEU brand is just damaged. It's damaged beyond repair at that point. Add on to the fact that the marketing wasn't very good. Shazam didn't make a lot of money previously, and you're going to get a film that's going to flop. And it flopped pretty damn hard. But that doesn't mean it's a bad film. It's a fun time. There's no, I can't think of anything inherently wrong with this film in terms of filmmaking. There is some plot points that make no sense. Like, how the hell does Wonder Woman get there? How does that Wonder Woman even know where they are, first and foremost? The fact that, oh wait, so this chick who looks like she's Billy's foster brother's age is actually like thousands of years old, yet she wants to bang this teen. Okay, maybe you can make the argument that even though she is thousands of years old, she still mentally is kind of there as like a young woman. So maybe that's why you can make that argument. But hey, look, he's not complaining. But yeah, hi, buddy boy. You want Tootsies? Want Tootsies? You want to be in my lap? Oh, hold on, he's gonna be in my lap. 1, 2. Oh no, not yet. Oh, you want to be up in my lap? You want to be up here? All right, fine. You'll jump up when you're ready. So yeah, I mean that's one issue. The Wonder Woman thing really bugged me. It's like, how the fuck did you get there? Otherwise, I mean, yeah, there's some minor plot issues like how the hell is the wizard still alive to begin with? I think they did explain like, why would you let me die? Oh no, you must suffer. It's like, what? I like how the fact that Helen Mirren is more than willing to just do these types of movies. Lucy Liu, I will admit, I love Lucy Liu, but she's so wooden in that movie. But otherwise, like, it's cool to see all these supernatural creatures, unicorns being monsters is pretty cool. Then they're appeased by Skittles. Hey, I can be appeased by Skittles. So, hey, part unicorn, baby. Dark and edgy, but I love Skittles. No, and like the fights are fun. Overall, I think it's just a perfectly adequate movie, but that is the problem. There was nothing amazing that stood out about this film. There was nothing that and again, forgive that. You're going to probably hear that once in a while because, again, we're still recovering. There's nothing that stands out. There's nothing to challenge audience or really get them invested in the film, unfortunately, unless they were actual fans of the first movie. Oh, there he is. There's the pumpkin. Hello, buddy. You are on the camera again. Whoop. Yeah. Say hellos. Say hellos. It's like, yeah, why'd you do that? All right, now look at his pooch. I'm here with his pooch. You're so poochy. Anyway, so coming in at number 6, cat distractions. I got Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Coming in at number 5, for the bottom half of the list, we got The Marvels. Man, look, I'm not a big fan of the first Captain Marvel. It's my least favorite MCU film. It really is, because it's just so. And I only really watched it the one time, so maybe if I rewatched it, I would feel differently. And maybe at some point I will. But it's just so bland and dull, and it's lifeless. That's the word I've been trying to think of this whole time. Bland, dull, yeah, sure, but lifeless. There's no heart in it. Even Samuel Jackson, who's got a great personality, can only do so much to like carry a film. There's no life or heart to this film at all. The original film, and I don't hate on Brie Larson like a lot of people do as a person. Yeah, she may be a little arrogant or just a little self-absorbed. Sure, whatever. Everyone can be. I don't care about that. It's the fact that, and she's not a bad choice to play Carol Danvers, because the way Carol Danvers is played up, especially in the other movies, is how she kind of is as a character. She is cocky. She is arrogant. But she usually can back it up. But they just give her no personality, no energy in the first movie. And I get that's kind of the point. She's rediscovering herself, but that doesn't make that a good choice. So you cut to the Marvels now, and I like this movie a lot more than the first movie. There is actually life. They do try to give her a bit of a personality. You actually have 2 actresses who are already established in the MCU, albeit the TV side of things, who are actually very likable and have some character to them, and they all work well off each other. I think the action sequences are pretty fun, especially when they are legitimately utilizing the place swapment thing. Their training sequence is fun. The actual actresses themselves, Iman Vellani is just, oh god, she saved the movie. I love that little post-credit scene. Yeah, is just for the fans. It's not theoretically building to anything, but it could be. It really was just some fan service, but damn it, if I didn't love it. I didn't love that fan service moment. Damn it, Kelsey Grammer's Beast. Screw you. I don't care what you're saying. I loved it. But you wrap that up with, again, a mess of a script. Like the Singing Planet, for example, is a fun concept until you literally turn her into a Disney princess. Why? Why? You're just trying to... This, unfortunately, was another victim of the Chapek era. It was being made and written during the Chapek era, where a lot of creative control was taken away. It's very possible a lot of the choices made for the MCU were not Kevin Feige's choices, by the way. These were made because Kevin Feige lost his power. He was mandated to do some stuff. So it's very possible that a lot of the problems the MCU has been seeing has not been Kevin Feige or even their direction's fault. It's from them trying to do the direction, trying to go the direction they want while doing all this other shit they've been told to do. But it's a messy film. It's a plot ripped straight out of Spaceballs with a villain who is nowhere near a Darth Helmet or President Scroob. This is one of the most forgettable villains the MCU has had in God knows how long. And it sucks because she at least had some qualities out. Like, she looked kind of cool with the grills and stuff like that. She, in theory, could have been cool based on her outline. Like, oh, Captain Marvel destroyed the Supreme Intelligence, which means the Kree were in a civil war. She's the last outcast, but she blames last one to survive, or the one who's kind of in charge. But she, at the same time, blames Captain Marvel. She's got to get her revenge. Like, that is a compelling backstory with that synopsis. So how could you not translate that into someone who was actually good? I don't know exactly. And then the whole Young Avenger thing at the end, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't hate the idea. I watch basically every comic book movie thing there is. Because I'm someone who can find positives in just about anything. I can find positives in a piece of shit like Morbius, for God's sake. But look, I'm not going to ignore when something's bad. And this is not a bad movie, but it is so messy. Not as bad a mess, I think, as Aquaman, but still messy. The last remaining four, we're going to take a big jump of quality with. Number 4 is The Flash. The Flash, notoriously, oh, you want to talk about development? Hell, Aquaman was a breeze compared to what this thing was. On the shelf, 4 years, went through God knows how many directors. Ezra Miller drama, reshoots up the yin yang, and then it had to be put on hold because of the Ezra Miller bullshit. And it showed. I mean, the movie tanked. It tanked. But that doesn't... Now, look, if you don't like it, that's your choice. Absolutely. Opinion. But personal opinion, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's got some plot holes. It does. But the whole concept, the Flashpoint concept of going back trying to save his mom, and he succeeds, but at what cost? Ultimately creating his own worst enemy. A paradoxical effect. Alternate reality where no superheroes are there except for Batman. And then Zod shows up. It's super and then him trying to course correct things while dealing with his younger self. Who, oh god, that Pauly Shore fucking Look, I get it, but that was one of the hardest things to say. I've rewatched it several times on HBO, and it's still a difficult as fuck thing to deal with. It really is. Oh my God, is the Flash really, is young Barry hard to deal with. Now, granted, as the movie goes on, I want to say like maybe halfway point where he actually learns that his mom and all the other timeline died, he does start to become more tolerable because he does seem to be taking this shit a little bit more seriously as it goes on, but still. But that being said, Barry trying to do everything he can to stop and prevent the future, only to realize he can't prevent it. The return of Michael Keaton, even if he's not the actual 1989 Batman, he is still Michael Keaton as Batman, and I loved every moment with him. To the point where he's actually fighting a Kryptonian toe-to-toe and actually knocks his ass out. Doesn't kill him, but knocks his ass out. It gives his life to do so. Damn it, I love him. The scene in Rush is really cool, too. Oh, God. And the multiverse stuff, the Nick Cage cameo is great, but I mean, it's CG, but whatever. And it all culminating in, look, I've been very upfront about, what happened the day my mother passed. That she passed on Christmas. We actually had a pretty good Christmas emotionally this year. I don't know if my dad went through anything when I left to go see Color Purple, but still. Oh no, I think my mouth's drooping. Oh no, I'm getting a stroke. No, I think it's just the angle that I'm at. But no, as someone who lost their mom, my mom, oh God, it'd be going on what now? This is 2013, going on 6 years? No, 7 years. Holy shit, 7 years? Dear God. What time? Where does the time go? But going on, lost his mom 7 years ago. That scene at the end where he not only has to, he loves his mom. I mean, he knows this is the last time he's going to see his mom, and he has to let her die in order to save the timeline. That entire scene is so beautifully acted. Oh my God, it is so wonderful. It makes the movie worth it. Now, granted, changing the past again to thinking it's not going to do anything was dumb as shit, Barry. But then you get a George Clooney cameo at the end, and it's all good. It's all good. But no, I think The Flash is actually, for the people who don't like it, look, it's personal opinion. It's absolutely fine. But I think people are maybe being a little harder on it than they need to be. That being said, maybe if you can't separate the Ezra Miller stuff from the character, that might play a part of it. Otherwise, if you don't like it for what you like it, that's your opinion too. I may disagree, but that's the whole idea of film. It's subjective. We can disagree and have our own viewpoints. I am someone who actually has fun with the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie. That's an opinion not everyone will have, but you know what? It's my opinion. Going to number 3, we got Blue Beetle, one of the only characters who's actually going to be able to come over from the DCEU into the new DC universe. And when you really watch the film, it would actually make perfect sense because nothing in that film actually connects the DCU. Connects Blue Beetle to the DCEU. We see like a shot from behind a Superman like stopping, I think, a volcano at one point on a TV screen, and we never see his face. So, yeah, you can make a very easy argument that sure, you could be in the DCEU, but you could also be in the new DC universe. And they're bringing him over. And you know what? I'm glad for it. Because even though this was made for the streaming service, this is one of the most just neatly packed films of the year. But a very, very enjoyable time. It really was. Did I really put this over The Flash now that I think about it? I think, did I really? No! Holy crap! I screwed up! This was number 4! I'm doing the. Okay, hold on 1 second. This is actually my number 4. I screwed up in the order in which I put these in. My bad, because I'm trying to explain why I thought this was better than The Flash. I'm like, do I think this is better than The Flash? I don't think this is better than The Flash. I think it's good, but it's not. No. Oh, I messed up. Well, okay, just to recap. Aquaman Lost Kingdom is number 8. Shazam Fury of the Gods, number 2. The Marvels, number 8. 7. Let's try that one more time. Aquaman, number 8. AntMan, number 7. Shazam, number 6. The Marvels, number 5. Blue Beetle, number 4. And then The Flash was number 3. I hate when that happens, when I got it all ordered here and it's out of order. Whatever. I'm not going to bother to fix it. Point being, though, this is a nice, neatly compact story. All the characters are very likable. Jaime is very, very likable. You buy he's a guy just kind of inserted in this scenario. His family is all wonderful. You buy them as a family too. The effects work is pretty solid. There are only a few times where it did look like it was made on the cheap, but otherwise it's pretty solid. The fact that its heads-up display looks like a game interface, I do think is funny. But yeah, I like the idea. I love the inventive nature of the Blue Beetle outfit. The Blue Beetle character is always a cool character. If there's one problem this film does have, it is its villains. These are not very good villains. Susan Sarandon looks like she is sleepwalking through maybe not sleepwalking through this movie, but she is not giving it her all. And then you get the other guy, I can't remember the name of him or his suit, but he's like the anti-Blue Beetle, and he's serviceable as a heavy. But the heart of the film is the family. The whole action sequence of going a motley crew in the Blue Beetle suit that's just hilarious. Or Blue Beetle machine, Blue Beetle mobile. There we go. Going through all those soldiers is hilarious. And obviously, again, as someone who's had experience with their father having a heart attack, his dad dying of a heart attack, and then him meeting his dad one more time in the afterlife. Look, I wasn't crying, but I'm like, that struck a chord with me. It was very much an effective emotional beat for me. And then I detect blood moving to your crotch area, to your groin area. I love the fact that Beetle's in his head. So, oh god, if he gets laid, oh boy. Creating an opening in the hole. You may bang her through your suit. Oh yeah, this is hot. No, it's fun. It's a fun time. So at number 4 was Blue Beetle. At number 3, it's The Flash. At number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. There is nothing more satisfying than the complete story. And these are characters we have been with since 2014, nearly a decade with these characters. Going from the 2 Guardian movies to Endgame and Infinity War plus Thor Love and Thunder. Do you feel like you're part of this family? And it's just one of those stories where I think James Gunn just did everything perfect. He brought back all the characters we love, gave them all perfect story endings, while still wrapping it in the guise of a serious story about Rocket's origin and the monster of a man who created him with a high evolutionary. And man, is he one of those great villains you love to hate. You love hating this smug son of a bitch. And trust me, that's a movie where I'm nearly crying at both scenes of, Rocket just bursting, and then, yeah, can I come with you? It's like, no. And like, everyone's just breaking. But not yet. And so it's so emotional, so satisfying, and yet it's still filled with all that Guardian goodness of the wacky jokes. The soundtrack, Beastie Boys, No Sleep Till Brooklyn Hallway Fight is one of the best action sequences of the year, and one of the best comic book action sequences of the MCU at any rate. Damn, is it so good. So good. Oh, man. And then, you end the movie on Come and Get Your Love. What was it? Korn and Britney Spears. I gotta go with my man Garth Brooks. Not a bad song as a repertoire. His work with King Crimson. What about you, Captain? This one's kind of special. On your word, Captain. Word. Yeah, oh, man, so good. Oh, so good. Like, that is how you wrap up a story. It is such a great movie. So wonderful. Oh, I can't wait to rewatch it again. But coming in at number 1, it was my number 1 animated film, if you haven't watched that list, Across the Spiderverse. This film, I said it before, but I'll say it again from the animated film. It did what films try to do and very rarely do. It succeeded in being better than the original in basically every way. It was the next step in storytelling for that series. The visuals are still amazing and possibly even better than the original now that they understand what they're going for in that series. The character growth of Miles is fantastic. I commented that he's kind of a bit of an asshole in this one. He's older. We know that. He's about a year older, I believe. So he's going through that teen phase where he thinks he knows more than his parents. And I'm like, dude, wow. I'm practically an adult. Like, oh my God, dude, you are lucky your parents probably don't believe in beating your ass. First off, you're Spider-Man, it wouldn't work. But second of all, you are lucky they probably don't believe in beating your ass to teach you a lesson. Seriously. Or tell the little bit of an ego on him where he says, they came at me and I beat them all. I'm like, did you? Because I think what you actually did was just trick them all. And then the only reason you actually were able to go back to the dimension you went to is because the one spider person took some pity on you. So if anything, all you did was outsmart them for a moment. But whatever, I get this part of his arc. But seeing all these returning characters, Gwen's story is so good in this. It's so good. Gwen's story is arguably better than Peter's story in this film. It really is. Her and her dad and them coming to understand each other again. Oh, God. It's so beautiful. That scene where he's got the gun to her and just, you don't understand. And he's about to arrest her, even though after learning the truth about her. Oh, man. And then the scene back when she comes back. So good. And then Miguel being a hero, but a hero who's whose purpose is kind of corrupted by his own arrogance, let's call it. Would I call it arrogance? Corrupted by his own like fears, I think is a better way to put it. Like this is all he knows, is the only thing he knows, and yet he can't see the idea that maybe there's another way. And it contrasts with Miles' story too. It's like Miles doesn't understand that there isn't always a choice. Like sometimes you can't always save everyone. You can't save everyone. And it's something that Miles, now granted, they're trying to make that argument so he allows his dad to die, but it's still an argument that's true. Spider-Man, you're gonna unfortunately, you're gonna try to save everyone, but there are people who are gonna die because of you, because you chose to save someone else, because you're not there. That's the burden of being a hero that Miles still hasn't understood yet. It's just that the people telling them that are telling him from a kind of warped viewpoint of that moral. And then I mentioned it again in the last video, but you took a character who's goofy and definitely played up as goofy as the Spot, and you turned him into one of the most viscerally intimidating eldritch horror monsters I've ever seen. Like, holy crap, see you soon, Spider-Man. Like, oh God. Oh man. Ugh. So just fantastic. And then that ending, that cliffhanger of an ending, man. Oh, I can't wait to see what they do with Beyond the Spider-Verse. Because look, they showed we get Spider-Ham and Nick Cage, Spider-Man Noir back. So that's going to be great. Here's hoping. Oh, and Hobie. Hobby. Who doesn't love? I said Hobie? I think it's Hobie. Who doesn't love Hobie, man? I've always been this cool. And I love it. Like, everyone else is trying to argue about trying to convince his ass not to go. But Hobie's just like, your palms, man, because he's a true anarchist. Like, just for the record, I quit. I love Hobie. Hobie's awesome. Spider-Punk is awesome. Anyway, yeah, #1 comic book movie of the year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But anyway, that is my thoughts on the comic book movies of 2023. We'll join us again next year for comic book movies of 2024. We got 3 Sony movies, 1 MC movie, and I believe only 1 DC movie, right? With the Joker 2. I think that's the only, because DC, like the true DC cinematic universe, isn't starting until the following year. So all we got next year right now is the Joker. So yeah, it's going to be a light year for comic book movies next year, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll include some of the series like Echo and House of Harkness and Peacemaker or whatever else comes out. Maybe I'll include those too. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.